welcome everyone to another episode of Disney with the Ducks. And before we get to the topic, I wanted to go around to my co-hosts for the night, Lonnie G, Kevin, Carly, and Jeff, and ask you guys, what is your favorite non-Disney movie? If you had to pick one movie that you just absolutely love, it's on TV, you have to stop and watch it every time, what's it going to be? Carly, let's start with you. Just because you have that confused look on your face, and I thought it'd be funny to pick on you first.
You're like asking me to pick my favorite child, so
it's easy. We only have one.
You only have one.
I know, but
I have to rotate mine.
So originally, when you told me what the question was going to be, I thought Cocktail because it's got Tom Cruise and he is beautiful, and Elizabeth Shue and she's beautiful. But then I started thinking about it a little more. In terms of, I may scroll past that one on TV sometimes. So Dead Poet Society, every time it's on, there is no chance that I am turning the channel off of Dead Poet Society. I mean, you've got Robin Williams, hilarious and very intelligent in this movie. You've got the guy from House. You've got Wilson. I don't know what his actual name is.
Sean Leonard. Is it Sean Leonard?
I don't know. But oh my gosh, the storyline's so good. And as a teacher, it's like, it's that feel good. Remind me why I went into teaching, forget about all of the terrible students that drive me nuts kind of movie. So it's my fave.
That's awesome. That is a classic. And that's one I love too. It is just so good. And it's timeless. Like it's still as applicable today as it was back in whenever it came out, the 80s, late 80s, something like that, I think.
Like that's my favorite.
It is. All right. Jeff, how about you?
All right. So initially I went to Shawshank Redemption. It's just one of the great movies that's always on TV that you just always stop to watch. And then I was like, well, that's probably not my favorite one.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like maybe the Goonies. Because that's just a good one. Southwest flights on their free TV, they have Goonies. And it is almost a perfect time from our take off the landing that I can watch the whole movie. So that's yeah, that's usually what I watch. But
you make it all the way through One-Eyed Willie, huh?
Yeah, yes, you can. But after thinking of both of those, I think my ultimate favorite movie is going to have to go with The Princess Bride.
As you wish.
That's a good one.
Yep.
That's a great one. I haven't seen that in way too long. I need to watch that one again because it is so funny. It's a good film. All right,
Riley
Kevin.
really loved the soundtrack, and we got to listen all the time to what's the stupid David Bowie song in that? Oh no, wait, that's Labyrinth. Never mind.
Wrong movie.
Yeah, Labyrinth is
up there for me too. But
also want to hate. Continue on.
All right, so Kevin, if you're watching TV, what do you want to come on? What movie are you looking for?
Mine is the Back to the Future franchise, but for sure, it's the second Back to the Future 2, where they go to the future. And you get to see the hoverboard, and you get to see all the cool things that the self-drying jacket and shoes and all the cool stuff from the future. The tiny little pizza that they put in and it cooks, and you get the video calls that we all have now. It's just cool stuff, and you get to see. What is it? Florida, I think, wins the World Series, which actually happened a couple times. So.
Yeah,
and it was pretty cool. That movie, when it's on, I have to watch it every time. I love Back to the Future. Love Michael J. Fox. Always have. He's great.
It is such a good franchise though too. You're right, like and all three of them I love. I think my favorite it changes, but the number 3, the Old West one. I love that. It's so fun. And then they have the train at the end.
The wacky wheel on the DeLorean.
Yeah.
God, what a great franchise.
I heard they're bringing the DeLorean back.
They are. You can actually see it on YouTube.
I saw a prototype. It looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, some small startup company, I think in Texas or something, is building it, right? Mm-hmm. So hopefully it actually gets to market.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, it would be pretty sweet. I think the only people buying them would be 40-somethings who
for sure.
And I think they're ridiculously expensive.
They are. And
like you could buy a house or you could buy a DeLorean.
Well, DeLorean. Especially if the flux capacitor is working, you got to go with the DeLorean.
Oh, for sure.
They say that the speedometer stopped at 87 just to be be though. They don't want to take it to 88 just in case.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah, you don't want to accidentally send someone back to 1955.
For sure, you don't want that.
Or actually, I just saw a thing on that the other day. that says the amount of time from when he went back in time to where it is now, it's only like 1991. So if that movie was made now where he went back in time, they're only going to 1991.
Oh, that's all. That makes me feel bad.
Really?
Yeah, that makes me feel so old.
Right?
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Come over and kick my dogs while you're at it.
Yeah. I gotta go take some Metamucil, but first I want to hear what Lonnie's favorite movie is.
Well, not to bring everybody down, but my favorite movie is Braveheart. Now, my wife just came in and said Pretty Woman, but I'm a man, so it's Braveheart.
That's my favorite movie.
Yeah, so love that movie. In fact, one of the highlights of our trip to London was we took a tour and we actually went to the site where he was actually drawn and quartered. And these people still leave flowers there, right? So it's from a history perspective, it is just an awesome tour, and love the movie.
Wait, so the place that happened in the movie was the actual place?
Yeah, you can. They bring you there to see it.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
That would be awesome to see.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. All right.
Now
Well,
you, John.
okay. So my mind initially just goes to comedies because I just like to giggle and have a good time. I like a lot of serious movies too, but I think for this, I have to pick Christmas Vacation. It is Christmas is my favorite holiday anyway. I decorate my house in like October. Like I think last year we put our tree up mid-October, and this year we probably will too. We try to wait until after Halloween, like that next morning, but you get too excited. Right. It takes so much effort to put all that stuff up that why are you going to waste? Anyway, I don't want to go off on that tangent here, but Christmas Vacation with the Griswolds and with Clark, he's like the best dad ever.
Yeah.
And, because he gets frustrated too, but he tries to have fun, and he's a nerd. And I it's kind of like how my kids see me, I think, but probably not as fun loving because usually they're angering me. But that's just how it goes. But yeah, I love Christmas Vacation. I've probably watched it a million times. I don't know.
I love
More
it.
times than I can count.
Such a good movie.
That's a good movie.
And it's not too early, John. We went to Costco today, and the Christmas trees are up in Costco.
Yes.
Right? Sam's Club too.
It's 90 degrees outside.
I know. That was my wife said. My wife said, it's still she's like, it's still August. I'm like, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Right? Sam's Club has Halloween in one aisle, and in the very next aisle, it's Christmas. I was like,
Wow.
this is amazing.
Yeah. I'm all about it. Bring on the Christmas anytime. We listened to Christmas music. We were on our way up north a couple months ago, and we listened to Christmas music in the car. It's just we're huge Christmas people. And so anyway, that movie just hilarious. I could laugh from the beginning to the end. Me and my wife will sit there and just like shout quotes at each other randomly, even when we're not watching the movie. We have matching sweatshirts we wear that say like, "Why is the carpet wet, Todd?" And I don't know, Margot.
Margot.
Yeah. So we put those on. We watch it after we put the tree up every year. It's great.
The squirrel,
awesome.
the turkey, the cat. They're all good scenes.
The
yeah.
squirrel,
Amazing.
the squirrel in the tree. It's all good. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, so that was a good segue into our topic for the night, which is the Pixar movies. So Disney's Pixar came out with their first movie in 1995 with Toy Story, right?
Mhm.
So they've been around for quite some time now at this point, and it's a big part of Disney. They're bringing more and more IP into the parks. They've got, the Toy Story Land created, Cars Land out in California. So we've got a lot of it being pulled into the parks now, which I love because personally I grew up during that time period, and it just brings back great memories. So tonight what we wanted to do was talk about our favorite Pixar movies, and then also talk about some that we think are underrated. So some of those movies that maybe don't get a lot of love, but that we individually love something about them, and it really just strikes a chord with us. So we will get things going with Kevin. Do you want to give us your third favorite Pixar movie?
My third
We'll count
favorite.
backwards.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. So my third favorite is The Incredibles, because I'm always a big, as everybody knows here, I'm a huge superhero fan, and I love the story. I love kind of a parody. It's kind of takes what we all know about the comics and what superheroes used to be back in the old days, and how they used to fight crime, and then how they went into retirement, and how that would all work, and all that put together. I just love that story, and being a family, and how they all fought together, and then how they had to bring it back together, and and it was just a really fun movie. I really enjoyed it. I've watched it many times, so it made it in my top 3.
Nice. And I think that's a good choice too, Kevin, because like you said, the family aspect of it is just really cool. They all work together, especially the new one with Jack.
Yeah.
I love that character. Awesome. All right. So Lonnie, what would you say is your number 3 favorite Pixar movie?
My number 3 would be Cars. The first one, that is, the original Cars. Love that movie. Just I still watch it. In fact, I watched it a couple of weeks ago. It's one of those movies that I can always watch as well. I think it's just awesome to see how, you got somebody. The end, I may tear up toward the end, when he stops and when he could have won to go back and help the older car out. It's just an awesome movie. And to your point, Cars Land, if you guys, that land is phenomenal. If you like Radiator Springs, you have to go there in Anaheim, because it's a duplicate of it, and the cars come down the street, right? So it's awesome, right? So that's my 3rd favorite. Just love that movie.
Nice. And that's one of the ones that I thought was kind of underrated. I think a lot of people don't really give that one much love, and I really liked it. I mean, I didn't really like the 2nd and 3rd ones all that much, but the first one was just great. Like, you have the friendship aspect there with Lightning McQueen and Mater, which is Mater's one of my favorite characters. That dude he's like so pure and just funny, and you just gotta love him.
But underrated, it has a whole land devoted to it.
It does, but so during my research, I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes site and how they ranked them based on editorial reviews and audience reviews. Cars 1 took the 24th out of 26 spots.
Really?
That's unbelievable. See, that's why critics are just wrong, because that movie is phenomenal.
It was in my top 10.
Now I need to know what are 25 and 26 though.
Cars 3 and Cars 2.
Oh,
yeah. Well,
so the whole franchise.
Cars 2, I haven't even seen it. I mean, I've heard.
Rotten Tomatoes and I.
Yeah, not always on the same page. Lonnie, something you said that really, I think, kind of qualifies what makes a good Pixar movie is hidden emotion. So I think that's something we didn't really say. What makes Pixar movies so good, and it's the way that they tug at your emotions a little bit more than most other movies, and they can hit you like a ton of bricks, and that's something that kind of pushes them up the list a little bit, depending on where it falls in your history and what your experiences, I guess. So, did
Cars get you in the feels, Kevin?
Oh no, not Cars.
Oh, okay.
Probably when the younglings were struck down.
That's right.
It's not Pixar, but I'm pretty sure he teared up.
Well, I mean, you don't, and if you have no heart, but if you have any type of heart, of course you're going to tear up there. Cars definitely doesn't put me in the feels, though.
I like the friendship thing there. And Kevin, when you said what makes a good Pixar thing, to me, I think that's one of the things, because 2 of my 3 movies have really good buddy connections and
sentimental value.
Yeah. So, that's interesting, because I didn't really even think that I was evaluating them that way, but I think I am. All right, Lonnie, I think that's a good one. I like Cars, and the Lightning McQueen thing at Hollywood Studios that they opened up is really cool too.
It is.
Yeah, the Racing Academy.
Yeah, so I was glad they brought that in too, because I would love to see them do Cars Land out here, because it's just hard to get to California. It's so far away. Time zones. Yeah. It seemed difficult.
Yeah.
Have to set my watch back. I don't know. It sounds like a lot of work.
But if you get a chance to go, man, it's worth it just for that. I mean, literally. I don't know if you guys saw videos of it. Kevin, have you gone?
I've never gone. I've always wanted to.
Yeah. Cars Land is phenomenal.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, I got to check it out, because I do really enjoy the film too. All right. So Jeff, where are you going with number 3? What's your bronze medal?
Well, both Kevin and Lonnie were both in my top 10. So I kind of ranked them all in order, because I couldn't pick number 1 just by going 1 down. I had to start at the bottom and said, this one sucks. And then I kind of worked up from there to which one sucks least. And then when it's flipped over to the good ones.
Okay.
So my number 3, I'm going to have to go with Ratatouille. Ooh, I think it's just a fun movie. I'm glad they added it to the France Pavilion. The ride's okay. I get a little motion sick on that one. With it could be less screen and more life-size things to me, but I just think it's a fun movie. I don't have a lot to add.
It's a really artistic movie.
It is
very artistic.
It was one of my runners up. It's such a cute movie, and I don't know why, but whenever you have animal characters, I always like the movie more. I feel like if you've got a good animal in there, especially when they talk, I can connect. I don't know. Apparently I like animals more than people. But Remy's so cute, and the little chubby rat, he's even better.
Oh, his brother?
Yeah.
Emil?
Yeah.
You know, that's my grandson's favorite movie, but you got to think about it. If you had rats in a regular kitchen, you wouldn't like that much.
No.
Especially if you're making your food.
Unless they cooked really good.
Yeah,
If they
exactly.
cook good, yeah.
If I'm getting the food that Remy's putting out, I don't care if it's a rat cooking it or, you know, it's Guy Fieri back there.
Either I mean, I've worked in some kitchens before, and you probably don't realize what's
there's rats.
That's true.
You just don't know there's rats.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and some of those chefs are even more disgusting than a rat. So
This is also true.
Gross. Okay, now I'm never going to go out to dinner again. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
All right, Carly. Okay, so we got Jeff's take. What's your third place winner?
Monster Nemo battle. I really can't pick. I'm cheating. I'm sorry. It's Monsters Inc. or Finding Nemo, and I can't pick which one because they're both amazing. I have sentimentality attached to both of them. Finding Nemo is one of the first ones that Jeff and I watched together, one of the first Disney movies. So, and I love that one. I feel like you can turn it on all the time and it's funny, and it's not one. I feel like in a lot of Disney movies, somewhere in the middle, I get bored. And I feel like it could have been maybe 20 minutes shorter if they would have just cut out some parts. And Finding Nemo, I don't feel that way. Monsters Inc., I absolutely love Mike and Sully and that connection that they have, and they're hilarious. And Billy Crystal is amazing. And is it John Goodman? John Goodman, totally stellar. And the two of them playing off of each other, I don't know. I think it connects back to my childhood and watching things like When Harry Met Sally and watching Roseanne. And I can picture just the actual actors in those positions. And I think they're great. There are spots in that movie where I tune out and maybe get a little bored. Right before the Yeti. I think the Yeti's hilarious. But right before the Yeti in that section there, about 15, 20 minutes, I get bored. But Monsters Inc. is so good, and it's got good music, and it's got funny parts, and I like Roz, and I think the way they've incorporated into the park is fun. So I can't pick between those two, so I'm cheating. I'm sorry.
Okay. So we've got a tie there, Finding Nemo and Monsters Inc.
What do you guys think? Which one?
So I had Monster Inc. in my third place spot.
Okay.
Because I love it. Same thing you said, right? Like Mike and Sully, that whole like buddy thing, and they're best friends, and I love it. It's just fun. But I wonder, because I haven't seen it in a while, and I wonder how much I'm influenced because I absolutely love Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Just the corny jokes, everything about it is so fun. They pick on people in the audience in like a playful way. So that I think influenced me a little bit, but I do really love that movie.
I had that as my number 2. So Monsters
something
Inc.
that
is my number
y'all
2.
mentioned is the different actors that play the voice actors that play. I think that's another key thing with Pixar that they do really, really well. They find almost the perfect casting for those characters. It seems in the best movies, the people that they pick for those roles, they fit the roles. It's like they were born for those roles. It's whoever does the auditions for those voices they know how to pick the voice for the character.
Yeah,
they're great at it. That's something that Pixar does really, really well, I think.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. And I can say this, Jody is not here tonight, but she sent us her 3, and Coco is her third favorite.
And Coco is such a great movie. Like I remember seeing that in the theater. And Kevin, when you're talking about like stuff Pixar does well, the animation is ridiculous.
Yes.
And that one was one of the ones where I was just sitting in the movie theater, just completely in awe by like the beautiful stuff they had going on the screen. And then they have the great music, like with the Mexican music and just everything. Yeah.
And I'll be honest, Coco is not one that I looked forward to seeing. I was a little hesitant. I didn't like the Day of the Dead kind of theming going on. It just seemed, I don't know, it's not something that I was gravitating towards, and I really like it. And if it's on TV, I will keep it on. I won't turn the channel. So absolutely, Jody's got it right. It's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a great pick.
Yeah. And Mean Gene sent his in, but he cheated. And he said, all of the Monster Incs.
Monsters University was pretty good too.
You say Monsters Inc. and Monsters University? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
He said all of the Monsters Incs.
All the monsters.
Yeah.
Calling all the monsters.
Well, I mean, I don't blame Gene because I liked Monsters University
They're
too.
great.
It was fun. But that's another one that didn't get great reviews according to Rotten Tomato.
Yeah.
I don't think I like that one as much as
It's a sequel.
yeah.
Sequels were all the Pixar sequels are rated pretty low for me.
What?
Except the Incredibles 2, which I think is up there. I think Incredibles 2 is pretty good.
Incredibles 2 is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So my third place, like I said, it was Monsters, but since Carly took that one, I have to come up with a backup, which was going to be Finding Nemo, which Carly also took. So I have to come up with a backup to the backup. And I wasn't going to do this, but now I'm going to. I'm going to go with Toy Story 4 because I just love Toy Story in general. It's my favorite movie franchise from Pixar, and just the whole movie I love. They brought in some fun new characters with Bunny and Rabbit. Like that was pretty cool. The creepy dolls added like a little like creepiness level to it for me. But really the whole thing about Woody and Buzz, and like at the end, we're in the movie theater and it must have been super hot because my eyes started sweating. It was weird.
So much dust in this theater.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm like, oh, God, how come? Yeah, my kids are looking at me like, what the heck is this guy doing? But no, I just that whole thing when they like kind of parted ways and Woody went off on his own. Just that whole like 4-film friendship that they've built and everything. It really got me. And so that one, I didn't want to put 3 Toy Story movies in my top 3, but like I said, since the other ones are already taken, I kind of got to slip this one in to that third spot. So we'll go with that. All right.
I'm not a huge fan of the Toy Story movies. You guys know this, and you throw things at me every time I say it. But Toy Story 4 was actually one I laughed a lot. I thought it was well done. I thought the script was good.
Well, I think they just need to bring Keanu Reeves into the series to really make it go over the top.
Yeah.
I think that's what did it.
Yes. It was good.
Duke Kaboom was pretty awesome. So we're being Toy Story. We're trying to organize a couple of families into being Toy Story characters for this camping trip we're doing for Halloween. And so I'm trying to talk my buddy into being Duke Kaboom and growing the mustache and everything because I can't
that'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. So
you're going to have to share pictures.
Oh, for sure, yeah. So I'm excited. I just ordered my Buzz Lightyear costume. It's actually supposed to be here today. So.
Oh my gosh, I need to see this.
I'm getting pretty pumped.
Can you be Spanish?
Spanish.
Remember the Spanish Buzz Lightyear? I would like you to see this. Before he had to.
Okay, so I do know a few Spanish phrases. I can say "Donde está el baño?" Where's the bathroom? That's an important phrase to know when I spent a lot of time in Mexico for work. And then dos tequilas, por favor, which that question usually goes along with the other question. So I can speak some Spanish.
Yeah.
I won't understand the answers when someone starts explaining it, but I can
right.
pretend to know. Okay. So yeah, let me get this train back on the tracks here. So now we're moving into the silver medal round here. Yeah, number 2. So let's see. Carly, why don't you give us your number 2 movie first?
Okay, this one 1 and 2 spots were super easy. So number 2 for me is Brave, and I I love it for so many different reasons. First, I mean, I have a redhead, and when she was little, her hair was uncontrollable, and she absolutely loved Merida. And we ended up going and visiting and seeing Merida in the parks, and it was just a great experience for her. But I love the movie, that whole mom-daughter dynamic where they don't get along, but then in the end they come together, and you realize it's all because they were pretty similar. And I love Merida's attitude. She's so super stubborn and strong-willed, and she's got such a vibrant personality, and she's not your typical Disney princess that I need a man and I'm in love. And she is just, no, I don't want a boy. I don't need a boy. I'm, fighting for my own hand. I got this. And I love that about her. And I think that this was one of the first movies that showed that female power. And I mean, I'm not like a super go burn your bra feminist, but I really appreciated the way they did it in that movie, and such a strong family connection. And I love a good accent too. So you've got that to boot. So Brave is absolutely number 2.
That I am going to bring that one up at a later point. But I also loved it for the kind of the same reasons, but the music to me is absolutely amazing. Like I have half of that soundtrack on my running playlist. I love it.
You just want to throw on a kilt and start singing at the top of your lungs and drink a pint. Like it's just
shoot a bear.
Yeah, it's such an awesome movie, and I think that's one that just doesn't get a lot of love either. But I like seeing Merida in the parks, and she's always had that spot kind of as you're walking up to the teacups there on the left, and it's so fun because she interacts with the kids so much.
She is so good at that.
Really,
actually. Last July, when we were there not last July, the July before, we took one of Riley's friends for her first Disney trip, and she ended up breaking her ankle before we went. And so she has this big walking boot on the entire time we're down there. Bless her heart. She champed it out, but
she kept up with us and we didn't slow down for her.
Right. Jeff goes command. Gotta say it every time.
The weak don't survive.
But we were like standing out, and we happened to be next to a cavalcade, and Merida was on it, and she looked right at Riley's friend Aubrey, and she goes, "Did you get in a fight with a bear?" And just like acted out the fight and the bear with her, and the girls thought that was fantastic, and it just fits exactly with what you would expect Merida, the character in the movie, to say if she were interacting with kids, and it absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that's a great choice because it's such a good movie. All right, Jeff, how about you?
All right, for my number 2 might be some other people's number 1s, and I went back and forth on these. I'm going with the original Toy Story as my number 2. It's the one that just kind of sets off all the franchise. I'm not into the big sequels or anything, so those all kind of drop to the bottom of my list. But I think that this one set up so much, going back to the names of the cast members in these movies were phenomenal. I mean, that's just a great listing of people. Their voices were iconic. It's just who you expect to be there. Walking through Toy Story Land now, it's so neat to see the different hidden Easter eggs of stuff that ties back to that movie, that if you're not really looking for it, you don't really notice it. Like the UPC code at the end of Slinky Dog is the date that movie was originally released. I mean, there's so many different little hidden things like that. So Toy Story 2, I'm going with my number 2, but it was a toss up. So
wait, Toy Story 2 is your number 2?
Toy Story will be my number 2.
Oh,
Toy Story's number 2. Okay. I think you're close, but it should be up one more spot to the number 1 position.
It's tough,
but we'll cut you some slack. But no, it is. It's great, and the whole dynamic with, I mean, like you said, Tom Hanks, and you've got what's Buzz? Oh my gosh, Tim Allen. It's just they're like Kevin, you said earlier, it's the absolute perfect casting, and then you've got like, it's just everybody in that movie it's perfect from beginning to end. I think, I don't know, I still love it. And I still think it's the quality of it is holding up against new films and stuff. I mean, you have a lot of design work, I guess. I don't know what you call engineering work that was done on that movie that kind of set up every other movie after it from every studio trying to copy it. So it kind of really kicked, I think, animation forward more so than almost any other movie in the last several decades.
Well, and if you think about it, I mean, Toy Story's been around. That was what, Pixar's first movie.
Yep. Almost 30 years.
Right. And they just released Lightyear, which is another kind of spin-off from that. So obviously, even though I'm not a fan, it clearly has a pretty strong following and it holds up its legacy very well.
Yeah, and like Lightyear, even Lightyear I liked. I know it, it didn't get the greatest reviews and stuff, but I had fun with it. We even we watched it again tonight, like half of it, because the kids wanted to see it. So yeah, it's started this whole franchise, and like I said, Toy Story Land and everything. It's just so awesome. All right, let's see. So Jeff, that was a good pick. Lonnie, what is your number 2 favorite Pixar movie?
Okay, so Jody and I have the same number 2, and that is The Incredibles. So I think that's Kevin's number 3. All the reasons Kevin said, love that movie, love the family dynamic, what it says about a family having to, and the dad wanting to protect the family, but knows he has to do something for them. Loves being a hero, but can't be a hero. It's just awesome, right? And it shows you that if a kid comes up to you, be nice to him because you don't want him to become a supervillain.
Yeah,
words to live by.
That's good advice. Yeah,
that was actually Gene's number 2 as well.
It was. See, look, there you go.
Wow.
Actually, Gene said the entire Incredibles franchise. So again, he cheats. But
I don't think Gene understood the assignment. I think he thought franchises when we were talking about movies. I'm just saying.
There are enough different franchises, though, within Pixar that we probably could have ranked.
I think when Pixar does the first movie, they automatically start on the second one, just like as they're writing it.
Yep, exactly. I mean, that's the way to go. They make enough money on it, right? So why not? People seem to love them. All right, I think that was a good one. Because sorry, Kevin, you're up next for your number 2.
Okay, so my number 2 is Toy Story 2, and it's probably other people's number 1, maybe 3. I don't know. But anyway, Toy Story 2 I love it because it kind of explores the toy collector side of the franchise. And, each of the different Toy Story movies kind of picks a different backstory, whether it's the kids keeping the toys or the new kids getting the toys or the toys getting, boxed up and let go when you go back to mom's and try to find that toy you used to love and it's not there kind of thing. And it gets sold by this greedy collector and, trying to refurbish it and things like that. So I really like that. And something that I didn't mention before about Toy Story that I really enjoy is toy manufacturing and toy advertising is one of the toughest businesses out there. And for them to be able to come up with a whole new franchise for a movie without having those toys it's unbelievable that they were able to pull that off. Because if they had made the wrong decision about Woody or Buzz, I mean, just think of what it would have done to Pixar as a whole. I mean, that being their first movie, it kicked everything off. They hit a home run with that, and it's lasted this long. It's really impressive what they've done with it. So, but specific to Toy Story 2, another thing is I love the backstory of Woody, learning kind of what his roots were, and seeing the kind of reminded me of the Howdy Doody kind of thing with the old school Western and the prospector and all that. I love Kelsey Grammer. I mean, he plays that role really well, and I just bring in what's her name with
Jessie.
Jessie, actor for Jessie.
Oh,
can't think of her name. Anyway, she's really good too. But that whole franchise was great. But I love too. Joan Cusack. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh.
And that song that Jessie has in that movie is just, I mean, like goosebumps.
I have to turn it off if I'm driving.
Right? It's a tearjerker. I feel like, any little kid that had a toy that they used to play with, and then you think, oh my gosh, they stopped playing with the toy and I don't know what happened. And oh my gosh, then you start to feel like a guilty jerk. So
Yeah, and I think one of the things that connects me with Toy Story is that, Carly, like, because I grew up pretty much an only child because my sister was so much older than me and she moved out when I was 4. So like I had these relationships with my toys, and I mean they felt like real people to me because I would sit there and talk to them and play with them. So
Yes.
I think that's part of what really connects me with that whole franchise is that idea.
yes.
I think it's amazing when you think about it. These same toys have been, since 1995, right? You still can go grab a Woody, you can grab a Buzz, and keep going. You think of some other franchises like Transformers, and they kill. Time makes some new toys. Let's kill off Optimus, right? So then you mess around. You're like, oh, can't play with him anymore. I got to get a Rodimus. He's there.
Oh, that hurts.
So my second favorite movie has already been mentioned, and it was Ratatouille. So we already talked about that. I love Ratatouille. I love food. And it's funny because my oldest daughter will not watch that movie. She watched it one time, and the scene where they had all the rats hanging, the dead rats, to like warn the other rats, she got so upset by that she hasn't watched that movie again. And I mean, she saw it when she was like 4 or something. I don't know. So she hasn't watched it since, and she didn't like the ride. She didn't like anything about Ratatouille.
I would have thought that was like her anthem movie because she cooks all the time.
And that's what I thought too. And I keep trying to get her to watch it again. She's like, no, I'm too upset. Like, I mean, we're talking a 13-year-old girl who it's probably been 8 years since she's seen the movie. So she still holds on to that anger. She holds a grudge. But yeah, no, but that's my number 2. All right. So now we are to the number 1 Pixar movie. So Jeff, let's go with you.
All right. I doubt anybody else has this one on their list as number 2.
Number 1.
Or number 1, sorry. I'm going with Onward.
Oh,
no,
that's a surprise.
Just kidding. No.
I love Onward.
I actually liked Onward too.
It was so cute.
I think Onward's underrated, but that's not my number 1. Number 1 is Monsters Inc. We've talked about that already, so I won't rehash all that, but I think Monsters Inc. is my favorite Pixar movie.
Carly looks confused.
I am confused. My heart is hurting right now.
Who knew you could be married to someone for so long and not even know them?
I know how are we even?
I don't even know you anymore. That's what
is your couch still open, John? Because I think
it is. Yeah, come on over, Jeff. Actually, I have a spare bed in this room, so you can sleep in the same room I work while I work if you want, and I can just watch over you.
That's not weird.
Nothing's weird about that at all.
It's perfectly normal for one man to watch another man sleep.
It is. Perfectly normal.
But yeah, so okay, so now that we've established that Jeff's going to have to move to Detroit, you really had no idea that this was his favorite, huh?
I really didn't.
Wow.
Okay, so I feel like that feeds into my number 1, which is obviously Up, because Up started out as a love for me because of Kevin the bird. I love her. She's fantastic. That's who I want to be in the parks. Every time we go into the parks, like I'll knock over little kids who are going to see Kevin because I'm like, no. Kevin is here for me. But somewhere along the way, Jeff has decided that we are Carl and Ellie. I feel like he's, concocting my death sentence somehow, but they've got that super romantic tale of meeting when they're young and having adventures and growing old together, and their chairs sitting side by side and they're saving up to go on these great adventures, and I love it. And I am so offended that it wasn't even on your top 3. Like, okay, so when 3 came by, I was like, okay, yep, it'll be 1 or 2. And then when you said 2, I was like, oh, we have the same number 1. That's so cute. We both picked Up. And then it's not even in your top 3. So, like, all of these things.
I mean, y'all dressed as Up characters for the 5K. I mean, what else do you want, Carl?
Right? But
Jeff, I'm on your side, bro. I mean, you dressed up for
her. Right?
Yeah.
He's like, it's the top 10. Okay, great. I'm in the top 10 of your favorite people. Great. Fantastic.
It's right below Cars.
Oh, I'm going to stab you with my pen now.
Carly, we might not be friends after tonight anymore because I would put that one it would be in my top 25 because there's one that I think is worse than that. I I watched it and it was so depressing to me. I like emotionally, I couldn't deal with it. Like, honestly, it was really tough because like with him losing his wife and everything, and then, you know, everything he does to get to like a place that he can be with her again in a way. And I don't know. It was too much. It was
The
too
neighbor.
deep.
Oh, it's
But I will say though, I mean, if you think about it, it has some really good parts up. I mean, what is the I guess if you look at the foundation of it, it's just don't wait till it's too late, right?
Right.
Seize the day, do your moments, do what you have to do.
Carpe diem.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. You know,
Dead Poets.
There you go.
and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If you haven't seen Doug Days on
That is-
Disney Plus, you are missing out because it is phenomenal.
Yeah, those are great.
But Doug Days is awesome, and so yeah, it
Right,
feeds
you've got talking animals, you've got an adorable love story that isn't like damsel in distress, princess needs a prince. It's like an actual real life love story.
That tragically ends in the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
Well, but no, don't forget, there's another love story. Doug, remember Doug said, "I came back because I love you."
Right?
So you came back there to help him out, right? And even though he was getting bullied by the Doberman Pinscher and other dogs, he was like, "I'm gonna do what's right because, you know, it shows man's best friend." Come on, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, Jeff, you should.
Yeah. Lonnie's putting that as number one. Jeff, you're a jerk.
I mean, move it to 24.
I'm sorry, it's not my number one.
Okay, well, no, and I knew you loved that one too, and I was trying not to anger you too much, but I kind of had to a little bit because you were giving my boy Jeff so much crap stuff.
Sleep with one eye open, Jeff. One eye open.
Okay, John, but now
Unless you're on my bed in my office, then you don't
still
have to worry
sleeping
about
on
it.
That's both eyes open the whole time.
Still sleep with one eye open. in John's
No sleep will be had. Can't sleep, but stay awake.
Here,
Oh,
sleep.
man.
Hey, you look to the side, you see John in the corner.
Staring at
He
you.
kind of waves.
Yeah.
Hey, big boy.
It could be a little creepy, but I want to make sure you're safe. Okay.
John,
So-
is that you? No.
No John here. Close your eyes, sweet boy. Okay, this is getting weird. It's getting really weird. Okay, so I'll expect you. It's 9:46, probably 5-hour drive, roughly about 2-3 a.m.
Yeah, there
Okay.
you go.
Okay,
You're right.
so back to our topic of the evening, which I almost forgot what it is at this point. But Kevin, what is your favorite favorite Toy Story movie? What is your favorite Pixar movie?
I know that this is going to be a top one, and I'll share it with you, John. But Toy Story 1, that's by far my favorite.
Solid
The
choice.
original Pixar.
Original Pixar. Reminds me of my childhood with the toys. I mean, a lot of the things I said about that I like about 2, I love about 1, and it's just it was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah,
Who's your
it's just
favorite
great.
character?
My favorite character, Buzz.
Okay.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's my favorite. I love
Yeah.
Buzz, and it was
both
funny
of my
'cause-
boys dressed up as Buzz for Halloween their first time, and it was
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome. That's so cute. That's what I think we're putting Crosby in, our baby, for Halloween.
Oh,
'Cause
So cute
Yeah.
to see a little baby with the Buzz Lightyear
it's gonna be
costume
so awesome.
with the
Yeah.
inflatable wings and all.
Yeah.
It's so
Oh,
cool.
it's so cute. Oh man. But yeah, I like when you know what's weird though, when I first saw Toy Story, I think I was probably in high school, I loved Woody. And I really liked Woody probably until the last, I don't know, 10 years or so. And then all of a sudden one day I watch it, I'm like, you know what? I actually love Buzz as a character, especially how you see him kind of develop and stuff because he comes out at
I think
first.
that's
And
it.
yeah, he's kind of
That's
like,
what it is.
yeah. And then
I think
as
it's
the
been
movies
out
go on,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I love Buzz, and I think he really like shows that he cares so much about Woody and the other toys, and oh, it's just great. But yeah, Buzz is my favorite, and that's why I was so excited about Lightyear. And I thought it was great. I loved it. I mean, it was entertaining. It was cool looking. It was fun.
I need
He's
to
so
watch
happy.
it again.
He's what?
I watched it and I got really confused. I think I didn't watch it closely enough. I think I need to watch it again to get it, because there are some confusing parts of it. What kind of bounce around and with Zurg and everything. I haven't really grasped that yet.
Yeah, it is. Parts of it are a little difficult to follow, but I still I don't know. It was just entertaining and fun. And that's all I need anymore in life is just keep me happy for 2 hours. And then, I don't do the deep thinking anymore because I have somebody pulling on me. I want popcorn. I have to go to the bathroom. So, I'm just there for a good time. Okay. That came out weird. Boy. Okay. Lonnie, what is your favorite Pixar movie?
Well, you'll be sad to know that it's not Toy Story. My favorite is Finding Nemo. It is a great film. Really solidified Pixar as being, to me, the best in the business when it comes to making animated films. I mean, you look at what it is. As a dad, it deals with loss, but then again, a lot of movies deal with loss. But loss, and then just the search, and then the son who's just saying, you know what, my dad's actually pretty cool at the end, right? So it's just, they had a weird relationship. He was overprotective at the end. He's like, you know what, just go, have fun, live your life. It's just an awesome film overall. And I watch it a lot. Just love it.
Yeah, it really is. It's such a fun movie. And I think Carly, you mentioned earlier, you can turn it on anytime. And it's just, it's one of those movies you can just get into no matter what your mood is and stuff. And it's just fun. You got Crush, you've got Dory. I mean, so many great characters in Finding Nemo.
Yeah. Yes. And it's got so many great quotes, like the seagulls, mine.
Yeah.
And you've got fish are friends, not food. And I mean, I just feel like it's one of those movies that you can walk up and, I mean, you can tell somebody P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, and they know exactly what you're talking about. It's Pixar icon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And every dentist office has a little Nemo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you can do it. It's like, he's just a boy. Little starfish. And he's trying to get him to go to the volcano. I mean, who doesn't like it, right? I mean, it's just an awesome film.
Yeah, it is so good. And Kevin, you're right. Like every doctor's office too has that little clownfish, and my kids are like, Nemo.
And all the kids are like pat, tapping on the window and looking.
Yeah,
at the glass.
Right in front of the sign that says, "Please do not tap on the window."
Right.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
And it's also John's favorite quote when he says, "You made me ink." You're scared of little squid.
The octopus.
You made me ink.
Oh, Jesus. It's so good. All right. So Lonnie, you have what Jody and Jean's are, right?
Yeah. So Jody went with Ratatouille. So she agreed with you, John. Your number 2 is her favorite. And Jean, once again, just said all of the Toy Story movies. Like I said, he didn't understand the assignment. So he tried to get 4 movies for 1.
I don't blame him because, like we've talked about a lot, Toy Story movies, all 4 of them are great. So you can't fault Gene for that one.
Yes, we can. And I only wish he was here so we could whip on him because we want to be anybody's whipping boy.
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, we will definitely have to make fun of him a little bit for this, which we already have, and we will more, of course, because that's what he deserves. But I gotta say, I kind of agree with his pick of just putting them all there. But yeah, and I think I already mentioned my number 1 too, and it's Toy Story, the original one, because God, it was just such an awesome movie. Same thing we've already talked about with it, but yeah, I just love it, and I love the music, everything. It's just great. Okay, so now we've talked about our 3 favorites, but now let's talk about one that we think is just underrated, that we really love, that maybe doesn't get as many people talking about it or as many things in the parks. So let's start with Kevin. You want to give us what you think is the underrated?
Yeah, my most underrated, it was mentioned earlier, but Onward, I really like that movie. I've watched it. It's my number 4. If we had done 4, it would have been up there. I really enjoyed it. I love Tom Holland and Chris Pratt. They're 2 of my favorite actors, and just watching those 2 play off of each other. I mean, they're so funny, and just that story was great. I really enjoyed it. It's a newer one, so when it came out at a really bad time, I mean, with COVID and everything, if it had come out any other time, I think it would have moved up the line a lot further. But during that time, whenever everybody was really wanting to see a new movie, wanting to see some new content, it came out and I really enjoyed it. I've watched it many times. It's got a little bit of the magic side in it. It's really funny. I mean, kind of my favorite is the unicorns that are eating out of the trash and how they have like all this back, like trolls and things like that. It just makes it's just really funny. I really enjoy it.
That was, I think, the last movie we saw before everything shut down with COVID. And then it came out on Disney Plus pretty quick, which was awesome because we watched it at home a lot. Yeah, it was a really good movie. And I went into that one with like no expectations.
Yeah,
and I think that definitely helped.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I don't feel like you see that kind of magic in Disney movies anymore, especially. Like, I feel like it kind of ties into the whole like Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, and I don't know, even like Pokemon a little bit, maybe. Just like weird, bizarre characters that aren't people, they're not animals, they're just somewhere in between.
Yeah. Like World of Warcraft kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, and that van that his older brother has is sweet. Yeah. I want one of those. I could just see that. You're just rocking out, playing like some Guns N' Roses, driving the kids to school. That'd be the best. All right. Well, thanks, Kevin. I think that was a really good one. That was a really good pick for underrated one. Lonnie, what about you? What do you think needs to get more love?
I really don't believe Monsters, Inc. gets the love it deserves. Yes, they had Monsters University came out after, but I think you could do so much more with those characters. To your point, love them in the park, right? When you got the Laugh Factory, Billy Crystal, just great in that movie. John Goodman. I would like to see more of Sully in not just in the park, but give me some more of him in the movies, right? So I know they have a little limited series, but I want a movie actually for them. So I don't think Monsters Inc. gets the love it righteously deserves. I mean, you got Boo. Who doesn't love Boo, right? I think the relationship between Sully and Boo, how he kind of develops through the whole thing. And I'll be honest, at the end, when they put the door together and he opened the door and his face lit up because he saw Boo and she said, "Kitty." Yeah. Just so much ragweed in the theaters. My son. But awesome movie. Like I said, it's just one of those ones that tugs at the heartstrings.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And you're right. I think because we all are in the parks a lot and stuff, right? And we see Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, but you don't realize it's not really anywhere else, right? And it doesn't really get a lot of play on Disney Plus and stuff. So yeah, it would be awesome if they came out with a third one. Like I'd be all for it. Because I really I even like Monsters University a lot. It's just so fun.
I had a doctor's office receptionist that looked like and sounded just like Roz. It was
always watching.
Yeah. It was so hard. Like she's just sitting there and she calls, "Jeff, you're next." She just like it's one of those ones where you're trying to secretly record them, but you don't want them to know that you're trying to secretly record them.
That's why it's a secret.
Right. But because
you're going to wear a wire into the dentist office.
Right.
It's just some FBI
where people wouldn't believe you unless they heard it.
So. All right. Well, yeah, I think you're onto something there. You should probably get her on the show and to do some impersonations.
I hope to never see her again. No offense, but it was following kind of a rough stint of hospital visits. So we're hoping to never have to see her again.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So Jeff, now why don't you give us your most underrated?
Me and Gene are on the same wavelength for ours. And I think all of the Pixar short films are underrated and they don't get as much love as they deserve. They are quick 5 to 7 minute little things before most of the movies, or almost all of them are on Disney Plus. They have that one little, I think one of them plays inside.
They have the Pixar Short Film Festival.
Right. But I think there's only one, maybe two of those that show up. But yeah, I love the Bao Bun. Gene said that one too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that one's awful. She eats her child.
Yeah, it's like when the realization of what's happening on that one happens, you're like, right? So I enjoy that one, but Lava is a good one.
Lively is a good one.
For the birds, I remember that very first one that came out with Toy Story. It was, all the birds on the electric line, and then they're picking on the big bird, and
he flies away, and away they go. But I think those are very underrated for what they're worth.
Honest to goodness, if none of you have watched Lou, it's the Pixar short. It's a lost and found toy box at school, and all the letters of the lost and found have fallen off, but L, O, and U. And I show it every year to my classes, every single time that I can work it in. I'm like, oh, guys, you need to watch this. It's just such a cute movie about getting along with people no matter what, and that bullies, you don't know their story, and oh my gosh, it's so cute. I think they do a great job with the shorts, teaching life lessons in 4 or 5 minutes. It's cute.
All right, well, Carly, is that your number or your underrated movie?
No, that was just me
just playing off Jeff,
right? Sneaking in an extra one.
Fair enough.
My underrated is WALL-E. I absolutely love WALL-E. I mean, there are WALL-E things in the parks here and there, like merchandise. You see WALL-E and Eva, but there's no show, there's no ride. You don't even get to see the WALL-E character. I would love to see more WALL-E and Eva in the park. I think the movie's fun. It does get boring in the middle for me, like a lot of Disney movies. I feel like it could probably be 20 minutes shorter, but overall, the characters are so lovable that, I mean, if I could buy a WALL-E robot, he'd be living in my house right now.
Wow.
It's the closest thing to Star Wars droids of any Pixar. Well, there you
go. That is another one that would be either my 25th or 26th. So I tried. I watched it and I just could not get into it at all. And like the whole idea of the people being on the ship and they're too lazy to do literally anything for themselves, and I couldn't do it.
It's too realistic for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Going, man.
Yeah, I think maybe it is just too realistic, and I don't want to think about that future for us.
But it's got a good song. Peter Gabriel has a good soundtrack for that. I enjoy the soundtrack from WALL-E too.
It was just so I felt like it was 26 hours long. And I think it wasn't, but I'm still not 100% sure. But no, it's so funny like how people see things so differently though. Especially with that and Up being two of your favorites.
Oh my gosh.
And then,
I don't love his little robot face and his.
I mean, so I liked you remember Short Circuit with Johnny Five? Okay, that's a robot I can get behind and I'm a fan of. WALL-E, not so much. I don't know, man. I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint.
It's all right. We can disagree and I still love you.
Well, that's good. I'm glad.
And if you look at it at the end, in the end credits, the people did start to do stuff for themselves, right? After the ship crashed, they started to do some stuff. I mean, they started forming and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was slow for a large portion of it, but yeah,
99%. I don't think I made it to that part. Maybe I should watch it again.
Yeah, watch it to the end and watch the end credits, and you'll see they all went on like Jenny Craig or Nutrisystem or something. All lost weight.
Got moving.
I
should probably take some tips from them too.
And they're just working.
Huh. Okay. All right. Well, I think that was a really good choice, Carly.
Thanks.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go with okay. So my choice was Brave, which we've already talked about. And then as a backup, I was going to use Coco. But I think, same thing. We've already talked about Brave enough, but the music, it really I just absolutely love it. And I like the fact that the time period of it, it's so cool back when, we had kings and queens and all that kind of stuff. It was just, I don't know. It's fun to see in movies. So that I think Brave to me is the most underrated. And I would love to see more Brave. I don't know what the right word is. I guess IP just being pulled in the parks, maybe. and see a show or something with all the music and everything. I think that would be cool. Because like in Happily Ever After, when they had the Brave portion of it, I loved it. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that would be mine. And then, so what do we have for Jody? Did we already talk about Jody and Jean?
Yeah, we did. Jody had Luca for her most underrated, and I actually do like Luca a lot. And a lot of people haven't seen it because it was supposed to come out during The Great Unpleasantness, and then they kind of pulled it and then put it straight to Disney Plus. But that's another one I've watched several times as well. Just bright, colorful. Just a really good story, of a little young kids coming to their own. So that's what Jody had for hers, and we already talked about Jean.
Did we talk about Kevin's though?
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Onward.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
See, it's so underrated. I forget.
See, and that's why it needs to get more love,
Right.
Because it is such a great movie. All right, so we talked about our favorite Pixar movies and what we thought was most underrated. So I think we covered almost every Pixar movie. There's only probably a few that we did not talk about. One of them being The Good Dinosaur, which honestly, I mean, it might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. Oh God, is that one of your favorites?
I haven't even seen that movie. I have no desire to watch it.
Oh my
It's pretty hard to get through.
It was okay. So my underrated list was Luca, which Jody picked. It was Wall-E or Good Dinosaur. Because I thought for sure somebody would pick Wall-E, so I was going to pick Good Dino, and he's so cute.
He is cute.
It's just not what you expect. Like the roles are reversed, and the dino is the owner of the little pet human. It's so cute. Stop it. You thought it was cute too. You watched it and liked it.
I did not think it was cute,
I
but
mean,
I was.
But I feel bad that I didn't watch it.
You should.
It's not. I mean, I wouldn't. I would just watch like the Cliff Notes version. Just
good.
That's all you need.
Can I just watch the trailer and be done?
No, so good.
Yes, you can. So one other one that surprised me that nobody mentioned because I know a lot of people really like it is Inside Out. Yeah. I'm surprised nobody had that on either their underrated or favorites.
My next one after Monsters Inc. I do like Inside Out.
Okay.
And it was rumored that we were supposed to have an Inside Out, attraction at the park, and it just didn't come to fruition. I think it was supposed to be where Stitch's Great Escape was. And it was supposed to have but it just didn't come up. But really like that movie as well.
Yeah, that's a really good movie. I like how they have all the emotions represented and everything. And I think that helps people seeing how the emotions play out, and it helps kids. And I don't know, it's just a really good overall movie. But yeah, I was surprised nobody mentioned that one. And I thought Jody was going to for sure, because she seems to reference it a lot, but like core memories and that type of thing. So that was surprising. What about you guys? Any other like surprise takes on anything people said?
Bugs Life? Nobody mentioned that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Bugs Life.
It doesn't surprise me though.
No, I'm not a fan.
I don't really think of it being in
Pixar?
that same group. Though. It doesn't really
I'm not
strike the same chord.
No.
Yeah, that one. I've actually never seen it, to be honest. I kind of want to watch it now that we're talking about it. But
it's pretty good.
And there's never a wait if you go to the attraction in Animal Kingdom. Usually, the only wait is for the other ones to get out.
Right.
So you can just go straight in.
Yeah. Huh. Well, that's one that I need to go watch then. Soul, nobody talked about, which that one, I love the music, but it's another, I think something about like just the people dying in the afterlife and all that kind of stuff kind of it freaks me out a little bit, to be honest. So I watched it and I enjoyed it, but
too many loose endings for me.
And that's a good point, because Coco kind of does some of the same thing, but they do it in a better way, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, but I really love jazz music, so that kind of, it's a toss up there. But yeah, so there was a couple that nobody mentioned. Turning Red, I think, was another one that just came out this year or last year.
I just feel like that one's too new for anybody to really be like, okay, let's see if it stands the test of time.
And my kids liked it, but I mean, I watched it and it was okay. I didn't dislike it, but I wasn't really into it either. Like, I don't need to watch it again. But that's kind of where I ended up on it. All right. So we've talked about, I think, almost every Pixar movie. We've given everybody our favorites and our most underrated. So if everybody listening to this after the episode, go over to our Disney with the Ducks Facebook page or our group and talk about your favorites. So let's hear from all our listeners what your favorite Pixar movies are. And, do you think we got something wrong here? I think a lot of people might take issue with me not having Up on my list anywhere except at the bottom.
Yeah.
Tell us why John is wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Send your comments in.
Explanation, but okay.
But yeah, so come on over, join the conversation there. But I think before we have you go off to our Facebook group, we're going to provide you with some giggles. So we've got our Quacking Up with the Ducks. So who's the first one to? I'm going to randomly pick.
Are you eeny, meeny, miny, mowing?
Jeff. Yeah. No, I was just pointing my thing at the screen, and I
don't have a joke, but I was doing some research to figure out what order to put these in. And I did not realize that Rick Astley is a huge Pixar fan. Did you guys know that? He will loan you any of his movies, but he's never going to give you Up.
I love it. I picked up where that was going, and I started laughing a little early, but I like that one. That's a really good one.
Moron.
Well, Carly, let's see if you can top that. Can you make up as much as you're
I
better
was
half?
so excited by my joke. I've been laughing about it almost all night. What happens if you slap Dwayne Johnson on the butt? You hit rock bottom.
That is a good one.
I'm totally telling that when it works tomorrow.
Oh boy. All right. Lonnie, do you have a super fun joke for us tonight?
I don't know if it's super fun, but what did one dinner plate say to the other dinner plate?
I don't know.
Tonight, dinner's on me.
Oh boy. All right. Kevin, can you top all those three jokes?
No, but I'll tell you mine anyway. Where do bad rainbows go? Bad rainbows. They go to prison. It's just a lot.
Oh man. That is a good one.
That's a bad one. Really bad.
No, it's great. I gotta tell it to my oldest daughter. She's probably the only one of my kids that would understand it, and she'll tell me that it's terrible, but that's the best part of it.
That's the best part.
Oh.
What about you, John? What you have for us?
I'm actually stealing a joke that my son Caleb told me. He's been really into geography and everything lately. So he came up to me the other day and he was like, "Hey Dad, what do Europe and a frying pan have in common?" They both have grease on the bottom. I was like, man, that's pretty good. You're gonna make a good dad one day, Caleb.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening to us and for taking part in the conversation in our Facebook group. Again, that's Disney with the Ducks on Facebook. You can also find us on Twitter at Disney with the D1 and on Instagram, on MySpace, on the TikTok, which is a new thing for us. So we finally got into the TikTok. So yeah. I don't know if we're ticking or talking, maybe a little both. I'm not sure, but
somebody knows.
Yeah, head over there and make sure you follow us on TikTok for some fun videos and that type of thing. So I think that's what you do on TikTok. I have to ask my kids. Yeah. But anyway, so thank you for everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening, and Kwaharini.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Can't focus on something completely, do another work project, but I can scroll through texts or whatever. Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, if I did that, I might get run over by a bulldozer or buried alive.
It's like Indiana Jones. You have chosen poorly.
I think we're you, John.
Yeah, we're you.
John doing his number 2
in the parks now.
Stop saying someone's doing their number 2.